Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Wow, I have a very interesting reading for you to do today. Today in Teaching Tarot, I taught the class how to do past life readings. And it has occurred to me, why don't I do past life readings for the royal family? Because you can do these past life readings for yourself or for other people. So I'm going to do a real abbreviated reading today because not all of you want to learn how to do it. You just want to know the outcome of it. But as promised, before we get started, we're going to use our winter frequencies to get a nice positive message. I think it's really important this time of year to end the year on a good note. This season can become so hustle and bustle. It also can become very lonely for people. Many reasons. It can be a down reason. It could even just be seasonal affective disorder. So let's start each reading with a nice positive message from our winter forest frequencies. Message, please, for the collective. Journey. There's no need to rush to your destination. Instead, see life as the wondrous adventure it is and enjoy each moment of this glorious journey. And that's from the Caribou Spirit. And many of you who are traveling this weekend, it's one of the busiest travel weekends in the United States because it's Thanksgiving weekend. There you go. Stop and smell the roses. Enjoy the journey. All right, without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to start with Harry. And I'm only going to do the previous lifetime to this lifetime. So I'm only going to go back one lifetime. You can go back as many as you want, but I'm just going to keep it consistent. And with the royal family, I'm just going to go back one lifetime. So the first thing is let's decide, or not let's decide, let the cards tell us what gender was Harry in his previous lifetime, and or what was he, male or female? And please don't at me. We're just playing tarot, okay? This is not a social studies class or gender defining moment. Let's keep things simple. Was he a boy or a girl? Was he a boy or a girl in his previous lifetime? Was he a boy and a girl? Was he a boy and a girl in his previous lifetime? Oh, girl. Queen of Cups. And that's what his mother was. Very interesting. So he was Queen of Cups. He was a very emotionally, he ran his life with his emotions. The Queen of Cups. All right. So now let's see if we can suss out who was his father. Let's see. Now we're going to see who was his father. What was the archetype of his father? Let's see if we can find out, was his father in his life? Was his father absent in his life? What's the personality of his father? King of Candles. So that would be the King of Wands. King of Wands. So, and his father's upright. So his father was a part of his life. Now let's see about his mother. And the King of Wands can be a military, can be a police officer, can be a doctor, can be, what else? Entrepreneur, could be a businessman. A King of Wands is one of the best fathers and husbands in the deck. So let's see, his mother. What was his mother? Oh, Queen of Gifts. So this is Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So his mother was absent. Interesting. Who's the Queen of Pentacles? His grandmother and Catherine. So he would be magnetically attracted to them because he missed his mother in his last lifetime. Wow. So let's find out, did his mother die, or what did she leave the family? So let's find out. So we use swords for that. And let's see. Did Harry's mother pass away? Did Harry's mother pass away or divorce? Why did she leave the family? 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 Ace of Canes, she died. This would be the Ace of Swords. So she died. Either she was actually really stabbed, or maybe she died during an illness. Maybe they tried to do some type of surgery on her. But Ace of Swords is by death. So isn't that interesting? His last lifetime, he also lost his mother to death. Maybe he didn't learn a lesson, so he had to learn it again. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So let's look at this King of Candles and the Queen of Gifts, how his parents would have interacted, which tells us a little bit about his childhood. While his mom was alive, they probably got along quite well. The King of Candles, the King of Wands, is a great husband material. He works really hard. The Queen of Gifts, or the Queen of Pentacles, is a great wife and mother. She would have made the home going, made a beautiful home, would have been a prolific reproducer. Look at the clock agrees with me. So they would have had a good marriage while his mother was alive. All right. Okay, so now I'm gonna pick up a pile here, and we're going to see, did Harry in his previous life as a female, so he was a female, did he have a happy childhood? Did he have a happy childhood? Did he have a happy childhood? In other words, were his parents happy? Was it a happy home while his mother was alive? Did he have a happy childhood, the happiness of his childhood? Cards are ready. Nine of Good Cheer. Yes, he did. He had a fantastic childhood. It was the childhood of wishes. We have a 9 here, so I'm suspecting the mother was, he was quite a bit older when the mother passed away, meaning in his teens again. All right. So let's now see, how was the family finances like? Were they living in poverty? I mean, if he was living a childhood dream and was quite happy, let's see, what was the family finances like? You don't have to have a lot of wealth to be happy and be a nice family, you know. There's plenty of families that live paycheck to paycheck, but they're fantastic people, and they're raising beautiful children. So let's just see what the family finances were like. What kind of finances did Harry grow up around? 6 of Gifts, very balanced. They're a very giving family. They made sure that they donated. They shared everything they got. I wouldn't say they were very wealthy, but they definitely had enough. And they also made sure that they shared in their prosperity, and shared their gifts that they did have. So, you know, if they had a big garden, they shared with the community, kind of thing, and volunteered a lot. So yeah, the family was happy, was a, I would say, middle class family. The parents got along, nothing untowards there. It's just that the mother passed away during his childhood, so up until the time he was 18, and I would say it would be later in his teens. So that's very, very interesting that happened again for him. So now let's see, let's do what was his personality like in his last lifetime? What was his personality like in his last lifetime? So let's start with his childhood. What was his personality like in his lifetime? What was his personality like in his last lifetime? Starting with his childhood. Ooh, Page of Canes. So Page of Swords in reverse. Ooh. A little bit nasty. Just a smidge. The Page of Canes in reverse, that's somebody who is rude, argumentative, not very well at studies, attacks people with words, not necessarily with fists. Just kind of a nasty kid, actually, which is a shame. Sounds like he grew up in a really great little family. Let's see, how was he up in his young adulthood? So up until about age 35. What was his personality like up until about age 35? Ooh, Knight of Canes. So this is the Knight of Swords. Really nasty, really attacking people. This could be almost like a scammer. Lie. This is definitely a liar. Definitely a liar. Somebody who spreads a lot of gossip. Very terrible at studies. Probably even dropped out of school or did not attend school. Remember, this is up to about age 35. So he was a female. So now I'm going to use the Queen cards to see what he was like after age 35 in his mature adulthood. What was he like in his mature adulthood? What was he like in his mature adulthood? Queen of Canes. Wow. Wow. We have 3 swords here. This guy was, or she was a lady then, really sharp. Not smart sharp, like really nasty. The Queen of Canes, so upright. So I should be fair to the Queen of Swords. She's also very logical, lacking emotion. You know what I'm actually getting from this is maybe like some, please don't take this the wrong way. I have 0 experience with autism, just what I've seen on documentaries. I followed Temple Grandin for many, many years. And I'm saying this with the warmest of hearts coming from me, is lack of emotion, lack of attachment. Maybe a little bit on the spectrum. And I know not everybody on the spectrum is nasty or anything like that. I'm just seeing 0 emotion here. Or like not being able to express emotion, being detached from people in general, like 0 warmth. There's no warmth here at all. And very, it grew up to be an adult female with very logical, alone. Usually the Queen of Swords is a divorcee or a widower, but tended to be alone. Almost, it's interesting that he came into this lifetime as a Virgo, which is the Hermit, which could be an echo from his previous life. Interesting. So either he was like a really nasty person and then turned his life around by the time he was 35, or and I'm not saying people on the spectrum are nasty, or he really lacked emotion and was possibly on the spectrum, on the parts that they don't interact socially, they don't know how to love, for example, and it just seems like there was something missing there. Wow. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so now let's see if Harry had a partner. So now let's see. Now we put them, and this isn't gender-based. This is the personality traits of the partner. So if the partner shows this is not necessarily the gender of your partner, but their personality. So let's see. Let's see if a partner showed up. Let's see if a partner showed up. If it shows up in reverse, it could mean either no partner or the partner left early on in the relationship. And if that's the case, and we'll pull another one and see if another partner showed up after that. And if we have two reversals, then there was no partner. So this is, again, not the gender, the personality. The partner of Harry in his last lifetime. Oh, we have in reverse, Queen of Gifts. Oh, that would be his mom. So let's try, well, I'm not saying he was a partner with his mom. He was looking for his mom. Let's see. Partner of Harry in his last lifetime. Queen of Canes, which is Queen of Swords. Again, it's not the gender, because remember, Harry's a female in his last lifetime. He was with somebody who was just as sharp and cold and distant as he was. This person might have been a divorcee or a widower as well. So it looks like Harry had two relationships. One ended quite early in his life, and then it looks like he found, I would say, his soulmate, if they're exactly the same, in the last half of his life. And I wonder if this person sorted him out. Okay, so he did. He had a partner who was very, very much like him. Okay. Let's find out if they were a happy couple. So was Harry and his partner that he ended up with, were they happy? Were they happy? Were they happy? Were they happy? Cards are ready. Oh, 7 of good cheer. You know what? I'm thinking that some days they were happy and some days they weren't. I'd say they went in like a cycle, probably a weekly cycle, because we have 7 here of good days and bad days. I think they both were kind of fooling each other with their happiness. Let's see, were they well? Like, what was their finances like? What was his finances like? What was his finances like? What was his finances like? What were their finances like? 9 of gifts. They were very wealthy. I wonder if they were both lawyers. Well, let's find out. What was Harry's occupation? So they were very, very wealthy. Interesting though, the 9 of Pentacles is a single. And now I'm wondering, because we got the same, I wonder if they both kind of felt confused about why they were together, and they both maybe had very independent lives, very independent, successful lives. Almost something like what he's doing right now, isn't it? Independent lives. But he had a very independent, successful life. All right, so let's see, what was his occupation? What was his occupation? What was his occupation? What was his occupation? What was his occupation in his last life? What was his occupation in his last life? What was his occupation in his last life? Yeah, I'm wondering now if that was a marriage of convenience. And then they each kind of had their own life, or felt independent within their marriage. What was his occupation? Ooh, Wheel of the Year. So that's the Wheel of Fortune. And when you're doing past lives, it means a few little things are different. So let me have a look and see what Wheel of Fortune means. And it's upright, so he was successful at it, which shows the nine of gifts here. The fortune teller, speculator, stock trader, gambler, lucky person, blessed, great luck in life. Fate had a hand to play, possible rewards for good karma, prosperous, built on success, affluent, seized opportunities, intuitive, advanced oneself, possibly rags to richer, took chances, made hay while the sun shone, positive, possibly worked by the seasons, or anything that ran in cycles. So I'm wondering, like, um, whatever he did, he was successful because it's upright. If it was in reverse, then that would be the opposite. So I'm wondering if he was something like stockbroker, stock trader. Um, he seems to be lucky in this life in some ways as well. I mean, being born into the royal family, and he seems to fly by the seat of his pants. He doesn't really have a career. He doesn't really have a job other than the military, and you certainly don't live that lifestyle on your military wages. So he seems to be lucky again in this lifetime in that regard. So he was built on success. Who knows? Maybe he took over. Maybe his father had a business, and he took over his father's business, or he went into the family business. But it looks like they were a well-off family. I mean, they certainly weren't legendary wealthy, but they were prosperous. They had enough to give. Maybe he took that business and grew it into something more because. And it was she was right. I keep saying he, but he was a she back then. Was very lucky. Was very prosperous. Was very lucky, and I doubt back then females could be speculators and stock traders and whatnot. I'm thinking built on success. Maybe he took over the father's business or something. He certainly wasn't rags to richer. The card showed us they were doing well. Yeah, ended up being very, very, very lucky. What was his soul's purpose? What was his soul's purpose? What was his soul's purpose? What was his soul's purpose in his last lifetime? What was his soul's purpose in his last lifetime? And I have to tell you, I'm doing abbreviated. When I do a personal reading, I go really, really deep into your emotional life, your financial life, and then how that affects your life today. So I'm just doing a real abbreviated past life here. So what was his soul's purpose? What was his soul's purpose? What was his soul's purpose in his past lifetime? What was his soul's purpose? And let's see if it matches up with this lifetime. What was his soul's purpose? Cards are ready. Oh man, the High Priestess in reverse. So let's see, what was the soul? So I'm wondering now, this Wheel of Fortune, I wonder if he was a fortune teller, a card reader, an intuitive. Wouldn't that be something? Because now he has the High Priestess here. So, and it's in reverse, psychic. And metaphysical skills and talent used for ill purposes. Carrier and revealer of secrets, lack of knowledge, choosing singledom and solitary life, fertility problems, betrayed, abandoned, lonely, mysterious, strange. Well, it does show that we didn't see any children. And usually, sometimes the Queen of Swords, like I said, is either widowed or divorced, generally not a mother. So I'm wondering here, if his soul, he was not successful with his soul purpose. What he lived was the opposite of his soul purpose. So he did not achieve his sole purpose, which would have been a wise woman. See, his card showed up as a female, a high priestess, a medium, a mystic, a psychic, esoteric, occult, herbalist, healer, midwife, keeper of secrets, spiritual woman, religious woman, nun, counselor, loner, mystery, spiritual teacher, temple goddess. So he did not achieve his sole purpose. Wow. He came to be a fabulous mystic. Maybe that's how she got wealthy. Used it for ill gains, and now in this lifetime, his intuition was taken away. Well, we all have intuition, but whether how loud it talks. So I wonder if he used it for ill gains, got rich, but ended up being very alone. I wonder if this is gaslighting. Seven of Cups. But he was here to be a healer, to be a mystic, and he blew it. He used his powers for ill will. And so they were taken away in this lifetime. Interesting. Well, so that's just a general overview of Harry, of what the cards are saying, what his last lifetime was. He was a she, so a female, lived in a happy home until her mother passed away, closer to the end of the teens. Ended up actually, so now those swords make sense about the nastiness of them, and I wonder if she used her powers for ill will, and ended up being alone, childless, and she was actually here to be a great healer. And this time, the intuitive powers were taken away. And a keeper of secrets. He's not keeping any secrets. He's blabbing and blabbing. He's writing books. Oh boy, he's just digging himself deeper, isn't he? Well, let me know what you thought about this. I enjoy doing these, and I've been doing these for about 10 years. I just decided to dust this reading off and bring it out for the tarot teaching, and I'm going to do more of these online. I kind of like they're pretty interesting. If you want your own, just book a session down below. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. I sure appreciate you. Take good care. See you online. Bye for now.